Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Politically Correct Ghana Lesson 66. And today's title is Ghana is Broke. Ghana is broke. Today is the 20th of December 2021. And my name is H. Kwame Afaglo, by the way. The title for today's discussion is Ghana is broke. Ghana is broke. The President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did indicate that just the weekend that just passed. Yesterday, the day before, is the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. He did indicate that the country is broke. We've done a couple of videos indicating that the country, Ghana, is a fragile economy heading for a failed state. So care has to be taken. So today we'll be looking at a couple of issues and coming out with some suggestions that will help, if worth considered or worth considering, to help remedy the situation. Don't think we are pessimists with Politically Correct Ghana, please. I've heard that I'm a government basher. Yes, being a government basher, but looking at facts. Okay. The budget deficit for the country 2020 was negative 14%. It means that Ghana is spending more than it earns. If that is it, it shouldn't be a worry. It's the highest in the history of Ghana, spending far more than it earning, negative 14%, which is something that has to be considered. It's becoming precarious. By the way, if that's just budget deficit, that shouldn't be a problem because USA also goes through budget deficit. China, budget deficit. Germany, all big economies are all into budget deficit. But in the case of Ghana, the debt per GDP means that the debt that we are owning is so high, 73, 74 to about 82% of GDP goes into what? The loans that we have borrowed alone. Means that if we pay if we generate all revenue, take all our taxes and other sources of income, we'll be spending about 70% trying to service loans and interest alone. Then 30% of the revenue that is left will then go for what? Salaries. Apparently, or previously, we needed 60% of the tax collected just to take care of salaries and allowances of our public sector workers. But this time around, we are only opportune for 30% of the taxes we collect without having raised enough taxes. And our budget deficit is the highest. So you look at it, think of it carefully. You're having the highest budget deficit. One, your loans and repayments are also high. Now you are spending more in repaying loans and its interest. Making salaries and remunerations, you would have to find a way of cutting it down. Let's go for a commercial break. Back to substantive issue. Yes. The name again is H. Kwame Afaglo. It's lunchtime in Ghana now, Accra, and it's warm and nice. So you would enjoy the weather at this time. However, the country is broke. Country with high budget deficit, negative 14. Then, of course, the loans repayment is as high as 70% of whatever revenue we have to collect, leaving 30% for salaries alone, meaning that infrastructure and co cannot take place in a country. Basically, that's what it means. That is the fact that we are confronted with. So how do we go around it? It's a question we're asking. The government has come up with a budget for 2022 saying they want to introduce an e-levy, electronic levy, which has been resisted. Yes, it's been resisted for some good reasons. You can just not take those reasons out. So why not look for other ways? One of the ways is government spending. One is government spending. Government has to revive or expand industries, private industries, and especially agric and industrialization, because services are going up. But agric and industrialization are just coming down. Means that government have to revive them. We're not going to be blaming Koro or the election over spending. No, that's not what I'm interested in. But how do we come out? One is government spending. Government has to increase spending in increasing what? Expanding private industries, making sure industrialization picks up. Agric also picks up. Unfortunately, the agric minister is just blabbing his way around. And prices of food and goods and services are going high, which is not proper. That aside, all right, then interest rate is another. The governor of Bank of Ghana must find a nice way of speaking or talking or conferencing with commercial banks to bring the base rate down and, of course, to match up with the interest rate and the lending rate at the commercial banks must all come down. Because as of now, it's at 27%, 30%. That's the lending rate in the commercial banks. Which industry is going to borrow and pay at 30% of whatever he or she earns? It's not possible. Let's look at it this way. It's not possible. Interest rates will collapse. And that's one of the reasons. The other bit is that those banks that we have shut down in 2017, 2018, that the government shut down, creating a lot of unemployment. Those indigenous banks must be brought back. They must be revived. You don't need to put them under, you have to give them back to their private owners and let them operate within new stringent regulations. That is a third one. The fourth one, which is that government cannot employ. Yes, government cannot employ. Anytime you are running budget deficit, there are two things to do: reduce expenditure and generate income, more income. So how do you reduce expenditure? Government must freeze employment. Government must freeze employment. But then if you freeze employment in a country where the unemployment rate is already extra high, and that we cannot even record, about 15 to 17 million people out of the 30 million population are unemployed. That is the fact. So then we have to begin to brainstorm further and deeper. The fourth bit that I didn't discuss got to do with financial irregularities. If the e-levy is going to give us only 6 billion cedis as revenue, meanwhile, financial irregularities are accounting for as high as 12 billion cedis for the year. Auditor General came out, 12 billion cedis for the year. There's so much irregularity, so much corruption in various other places that if we plug all those corruption holes, we will earn more than e-levy. So why concentrate on e-levy and ignore the financial irregularities? That is the fourth suggestion, has to be brought on board. The name is H. Kwame Afaglo. Thank you.